The time is now 7 o'clock, and I call this February 9th, 2023 Borough Council meeting to order. We will begin, as we always do, with a moment of silence, Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, led by Councilor Perry.
I hope you guys can hear. Okay, good. My microphone is kind of back a little bit. Before I do the moment of silence, I just want to take a few minutes to thank the chief and Lieutenant Miller for meeting with me earlier this week. I think that we had a really good conversation that I really needed to have. And it gave me a lot more respect for our police department here. And I'm glad that you're here so that I can say that I am appreciative of you and learning of how you handle situations here in Carlisle. And it's important for me to say that to you, especially in this climate right now, so that you understand that you are appreciated, even if you don't always feel like it. So I just wanted to say that first of all, and thanks to the two of you for having that conversation with me. For my moment of silence, I want us to just take a few minutes. With that being said, I think that, not only is it Black History Month, but we are in times, this country is in a time right now where the systems that were built to keep Black people down, to keep control of Black people's bodies, is still happening. There are families who wake up or go to bed at night who have to bury their loved ones because of their race, because of the race relations that are happening in this country. So I want us to take a moment and think about families like Tyree Nichols' family and Ahmaud Arbery's family and Breonna Taylor's family and Philando Castile and George Floyd. That is what I want. What I want is for this country to treat people who look like me better than they have treated us. For me and my family and people who look like me to be able to wake up in the morning and not be afraid that the color of our skin is going to be used as a weapon. So that's my moment of silence. So everybody, just take a few moments. Thank you. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, we now have a number of presentations and oaths to take. So I'm going to ask all of Borough Council, and I believe we have enough seats I'm sorry, I don't want to skip roll call. Let's start roll call, make sure we have everybody here. Roll call, Madam Secretary, please.
Mr. Clancy?
Here.
Mr. Hicks?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Landis?
Here.
Ms. Mellon?
Here.
Mr. Perry? Ms. Perry?
Here.
Mr. Stubbe?
Here.
Mayor Schultz?
Here.
Ms. Fisher-Henson?
Here.
And Mr. Howard?
Here.
All right, let's try that again. You all know why we're here tonight. Or if you haven't, you probably figured it out. So I'm going to ask all of council, and I think we have enough seats if the student ambassadors would like to take some seats down in the front row. We've been tweaking this process. We're going to head down here all together.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, welcome. We're so pleased to see so many come out for this occasion. We're here tonight, as you know, to formally welcome our 6 most recently hired Carlisle police officers and to celebrate their accomplishment and to recognize several other uniformed officers for their most recent career achievements, all in the presence of their families, friends, and our Carlisle community. Let us first start, though, with the 6 recently hired officers and the process that they underwent to become a Carlisle police officer. The recruitment process is extensive and in accordance with the Civil Service rules and regulations and applicable state law. For the most recent recruitment undertaken, the Borough of Carlisle's Police Department hosted the Cumberland County Consortium testing on September 17th and 18th of 2022. Registrants were notified to report to the Carlisle High School to undergo a physical fitness agility test and a written test. 89 individuals showed up for the testing. 66 initially passed both the physical fitness and the written test portions. 27 scored high enough for our standard and agreed to continue through the process, which next was our oral interview examinations. The Borough of Carlisle's oral examination is conducted by a 4-person panel consisting of 2 persons from the Carlisle community, selected by me, the borough manager. In the most recent recruitment, Reverend Gerald Crummy and resident Bob Winston assisted us with that endeavor. We thank them for their service. The Chief of Police, Tara Landis, and a law enforcement officer in the rank of sergeant or higher selected by the police chief. The oral panelist session resulted in 13 passing and entering the background process, and then a final interview conducted by me in the accompaniment of our human resource manager, Amy Barrier. Candidates must go through a background investigation, a physical examination, and if granted a conditional offer of employment, a candidate is required to undergo a psychological examination. Tonight, we commend Jean Berlin, Vincent Brewer, Stephen Ferguson, Zachary Schroyer, Caleb Smith, and A.J. Young for making it through the recruitment process, as well as achieving Act 2020 certification, which in itself is a 919-hour, 28-week training and academic program, and passing the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission, otherwise known as MOPEC, state certification exam. I now ask that Lieutenant Latshaw and Lieutenant Miller come forward to provide the officers' biographical information.
Officer Jean Berlin was born and raised in Pennsylvania, I believe in Perry County, before attending Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he also served in the National Guard. He graduated from there with a bachelor's degree in 2016. Upon graduation, Officer Berlin was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army and was assigned to 3rd Brigade, 10th Mountain Division at Fort Polk, Louisiana. He completed 1 tour in Iraq from 2017 to 18. Gene married his wife Nadia after leaving the military in 2019. Officer Berlin attended the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center Basic Police Academy and worked for the Riley County Police Department before moving to Carlisle in 2021. Officer Vincent Brewer Officer Brewer is a 10-year Navy veteran with 14 worldwide detachments. Born in Germany and raised in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Officer Brewer is the son of Timothy and Stephanie Brewer. As part of his naval career, Officer Brewer was stationed at Virginia Beach, Virginia, Jacksonville, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, where he pursued a canine handler certification with Global Canine. He left the Navy in 2021 to pursue a career in law enforcement and is a graduate of the 121st Police Academy. Most importantly, Vince has been married to his wife, Sam, for 6 years, and they just welcomed their first child, Cole, in July. Officer Stephen Ferguson. Officer Ferguson and his family moved to the area from New Jersey, where he previously worked as a field technician for Sherwin-Williams. He has an associate's degree in criminal justice from Raritan Valley Community College in New Jersey. He is married and has 2 young sons, Aaron and Wyatt. In his personal time, Stephen enjoys winter fly fishing and deep sea kayak fishing. He also has played guitar for several years. Stephen is devoted to serving his community and being the best possible father and husband.
Officer Zachary Schroyer is from Central Pennsylvania. He married his wife Grace in 2015, and they have 2 children, Thea and Reese. He previously worked at Capital Academy in Harrisburg as a high school team leader. He has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Penn State University and is currently an active member of the Pennsylvania National Guard. Officer Caleb Smith was born and raised in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. While in high school, he played football and wrestled. Caleb graduated high school in 2017 and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. He was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, with the 3rd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, where he served as an infantryman. He has deployed twice while stationed at Camp Lejeune. Caleb married his wife, Alexis, in August of 2020, and a year later, he was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps. Caleb returned home to Pennsylvania to attend a police academy in Indiana, Pennsylvania in January of 2022. He started working for the Carlisle Police Department in June of that same year. He doesn't have it on his bio, but I'd like to point out that his father was also a law enforcement officer. Officer A.J. Young is born and raised in the Mechanicsburg area. He graduated from Shippensburg University in 2021 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He has previously served as a part-time police officer in Ocean City, Maryland. And in December of 2022, he graduated from Hacks Police Academy and joined us. I'd also like to point out that his father is a law enforcement officer.
Before you break the right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend. That I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the Commonwealth. The Constitution of the Commonwealth. The laws of this Commonwealth. The laws of this Commonwealth. And the borough of Carlisle. And the borough of Carlisle. That I will uphold, protect, enforce the law, and discharge the duties of my office, as a police officer with fidelity, as a police officer with fidelity, without consideration to a person's race, without consideration to a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap or disability, as a police officer with the Borough of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Thank you all. Congratulations. Do some shots now? Yeah. Council wants to join. Somehow, why don't we back up a bit so we can council up on top?
Staff Sergeant, you call him up, I'll read it. Staff Sergeant, Sergeant Booker. He was a sergeant, now he's a staff sergeant. 37 years old, born and raised in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Graduated from Manheim Township High School in 2003. Getting kind of old there, Sergeant Booker. Graduated Hack Police Academy in November 2007. Hired by the Carlisle Police Department September 29, 2008. Became operator in the Cumberland County Special Response Team January 2011. Served until January 2019. Carlisle Police Department Patrolman of the Year in 2010 and 2011. SFST Standard Field Sobriety Testing Instructor. One of approximately 160 officers statewide certified as a drug recognition expert. Recognized as an expert witness with regard to drug and drug delivery cases in the Court of Common Pleas in Cumberland County. Member of the Cumberland County Drug Task Force since 2015. Promoted to Corporal March 1st, 2013. Promoted to Sergeant November 17th, 2017. Special recognition from Senator Patricia Vance for outstanding achievement in Pennsylvania's Aggressive Driving Enforcement Program, 2011 and 2014. Carlisle Police Department awards are Officer of the Year, Safe Driving, Advanced Certifications, Educational Achievement, Physical Fitness, and SRT. He's also an EVOC driving instructor for both in-service police officers as well as academy training. He teaches at the academy, teaches young guys how to drive. In attendance this evening are his wife, Erin, daughter, Zoe, my favorite cop kid, and stepdaughter, Alexia.
Again, this is the very first staff sergeant in the Carlisle Police Department. I'm going to ask you to take it. If you know anything about it, some people may have been in the military. So a senior non-commissioned officer in the police department. He works for the old man. Nobody messes with the old man. Sergeant Booker has a habit of finding experience and learning. What happens is, I don't know what it is, but wherever he goes, there will be somebody who will run, speed, or do something in his presence. Guaranteed. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I think he's got record for stopping more pursuits by just turning his lights off. But an outstanding is FDA in law enforcement for how long?
15 years.
Then a sergeant for 4 years. With competition amongst the other sergeants and staff on the 1 hour. So, you said this? Our next award is the Officer of the Year. The Officer of the Year is voted on by all the other ACOs, corporals and sergeants in the police department. Who does a good job, who has the radio. And I can tell you about this particular Officer of the Year, I have my radio on all the time, and for some reason, he can't stop his radio on and answer me. He's like, he's got the fastest hands in the West. What he does is, they'll call for a Carlisle car, and before you can think about answering, he's already answered. We have a special thing for Officer Joe Tadaro.
Officer Joseph Tadaro. Joseph Tadaro graduated from Big Spring High School in 2011. Over his elementary and high school years, Joseph grew up in the Carlisle, Newville area. Just prior to the end of his tenure there, Officer Tadaro enlisted in the United States Army Reserve as a military police officer. He deployed twice during his military career thus far, and he currently still serves in the U.S. Army Reserve. Officer Tadaro has been with the Carlisle Police Department since May 2020. Prior to that, he spent 3 years with the Hagerstown, Maryland City Police Department. Since his time with the Carlisle Police Department, he has become a taser instructor, a field training officer, a recent member of the Cumberland County Special Response Team. Officer Tadaro would like to thank his wife Lauren and her continued support and always keeping things running at home, and also his son Everett, his parents, and his in-laws.
His father and his father-in-law.
Yes. Right here.
Did you really buy a truck? What is wrong with you? Now, we have a presentation. My man. Presented on the certificate. And also there's a ribbon that's worn. I have to get it no short the ribbon that's also worn for Officer of the Year.
Appreciate it.
Yes. We're not done yet. Okay, this evening we'd also like to recognize 3 individuals for years of service with the Carlisle Police Department. Is Detective Chris Miller, available. Chris. I'd like to introduce Detective Chris Miller. Chris was hired in January of 2013 and was on patrol until July of 2020. He's been a negotiator with the Cumberland County Special Response Team since 2017. He holds the distinguished honor of being Officer of the Year in 2018, and he was appointed to detective in July of 2020. His primary caseloads involve death investigations, sexual assaults, and child abuse. We would like to recognize Chris this evening for 10 years of service. Mayor.
Thank you. The Borough Council. Thank you. Right. Okay. Good.
Now, there's a part of the story with every officer. Every officer's got something. Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you, are there any unmarried women in here? We're trying to find somebody. If you know somebody, let us know. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He happens to have a sweater on underneath his shirt. But every time I got a story, and they all talk about me the same way.
I'm sorry we can't cut your mic.
Yeah. All right. Next on our list is Sergeant Brian Shaw, who unfortunately could not attend this evening. He's not feeling well, unfortunately. But we still want to spend time to recognize his accomplishment. Sergeant Shaw is married with two daughters, ages 13 and 8. He was hired by the Carlisle Police Department in 2008, shortly after a second deployment to Iraq with the United States Army. Brian was promoted to corporal in 2012 and became a member of the Cumberland County Special Response Team. He is also a firearms instructor and armorer for the department. Brian was promoted to sergeant in January of 2020. Sergeant Shaw has served the community here in Carlisle for his entire career in a patrol capacity. We're sorry that he could not be here this evening, but we'd like to recognize him for his 15 years of service with the Carlisle Police Department. Mayor.
Lieutenant Laxall, if you would present this on behalf of Borough Council and Mayor to Sergeant Shaw. Thank you. It's like the Oscars.
All right. Now, this one's going to have so there's a lot here to lift here. So. Now, we've saved one of the best for last. We could have a lot of fun with this one, but we'll just let it at that. So this evening we'd like to recognize Lieutenant Steve Latshaw for 25 years of service. Steve started in January of 1998. Served as a corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, and interim chief of police for us throughout his tenure. He's been in the police administration since 2013. A graduate of Penn State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Public Policy and a graduate of Northwestern School of Police Staff and Command. He went to the FBI Internal Affairs Investigation School in 2016 and many other schools and trainings throughout his 25 plus years of service. He served as the department's accreditation manager. He was responsible for the implementation of the body-worn camera program from its inception. He's played active roles in the Fleet Camera Project, Downtown Camera Project, the radio transition to county and other technological programs implemented at the police department over the course of the last 10 years. Steve is a U.S. Army veteran, and we'd just like to take this opportunity to congratulate him on 25 years of exemplary public service to our community. Thank you, Steve. Once we go up there, she can get his hands up.
I have to say, this is the, I've told this many times, this is the best arranged marriage I've ever had. If you know anything about Lieutenant Lasso, he speaks truth to authority in WSR. I would say, Steve, I had this great idea. And I looked right in the face and listened to him, shake his head. Hey, that's not my idea. But wisdom beyond words. And I appreciate him a whole bunch. And that's why I got the best command staff ever. Because the two of these guys, I don't know, and they don't know, no one needs to know. They're just great. Congratulations. Picture. No. Camera. Lieutenant Lasso is the best. He's got a way with words. Leave it there.
Did you want to call recess now for photos and so forth?
Yeah. We're going to take a brief recess. We're going to do some final photos, and then we'll, if you want to stick around for our council meeting, you're free to after that. But, we'll recess now for about 5 minutes. Good. Okay. I am calling this meeting back to order. Order, Chief. Okay. This is where we have the opportunity for citizens to be heard. If there's anybody who would like to address council on any topics of borough government, now is your opportunity. Is there anybody here in Borough Hall? No? Madam Secretary, anybody by Zoom? Okay. We will move on to the consent agenda. So this is a list of routine items which do not appear to be controversial in nature and which probably do not require additional discussion. They can be acted on by one motion in their current form. If discussion is desired on any particular item, any member of council or the public may request the item to be removed from the consent agenda, and that item will be considered separately. Is there any request by council or the public to have any item removed? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by the deputy mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Mellon. Any discussion? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes. The consent agenda, everything on the white pages, if you're following along, has been approved. Next, we have reports from elected officials. Under my report, after a couple months of some discussion, we had the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that were offered to us in December, and have now had a couple of months for council to work through those and consider them. At the last workshop meeting, I reported out that a small committee will be working on the formation or recommendation for the formation of an ongoing committee. Tonight, we are asked to approve and accept the recommendations of the Carlisle Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So I'd ask for a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion that Borough Council approve a resolution accepting the recommendations of the Carlisle Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Motion is made by Councilor Stubbe. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Perry. Any discussion? I will just once again thank all the commission members over the last 2 years. If they're watching at home, we appreciate all the work that they put in and the passion they put into these issues. As I've said before, this is just the start. It'll get us moving forward on the path to greater racial equity in this borough. If there's no further discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Move on to reports from committees. Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one item tonight. It's a roll call vote, so I'll make a motion that Borough Council may enact an ordinance approving an agreement between the Redevelopment Authority of Cumberland County and the Borough of Carlisle to include, but not limited to, the continuance of leasing of office space, parking, and basic services in Borough Hall. The agreement shall be retroactive from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023.
Councilor Cramsey makes a motion to approve the agreement between the borough and the Redevelopment Authority of Cumberland County. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Councilor Perry. The Redevelopment Authority was sweating there for a moment. This is a roll call vote. I'm sorry, any discussion? Okay, it's a roll call vote. Madam Secretary, the roll, please.
Mr. Ramsey?
Aye.
Mr. Hicks?
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Landis?
Aye.
Ms. Mellon?
Aye.
Ms. Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Stubbe?
Aye.
And Mayor Schultz?
Aye. And that concludes the report of Economic Development. Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that council amend the 2023 recreation facility fees and winter spring recreation fee resolution.
Councilor Mellon makes a motion to amend the 2023 recreation facility fees and winter spring recreation fee resolution. Is there a second? Oh, that's my committee. I'll second that motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes. Public Works.
I make a motion Borough Council to approve the renewal of the annual service contract with HACH Service Partnership for the preventative maintenance and servicing of equipment at the Carlisle Water Treatment Facility. Contract is for a 1-year period effective February 16th, 2023.
Council Perry makes a motion to approve the renewal of the annual service contract with HACH Service Partnership for those vital maintenance of the servicing of the equipment at the water treatment facility. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Stube. Any discussion? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion passes.
Next, I make a motion to amend the professional services contract with Herbert Rowland and Grubik Incorporated to continue to provide program manager services at a not to exceed fee of $150,000 related to the Carlisle Connectivity Transportation Improvement Project, subject to review and approval of agreement by the borough solicitor.
Councilor Perry makes a motion to amend the professional services contract with Herbert Rowland and Grubik. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Stube. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes.
And lastly, I make a motion to approve the change order numbers 2 through 5 for the 2022 water main replacement contract to reflect additional work required by the contractor to address underground facilities encountered during the project different that shown on the contract plans, increasing the total contract by $31,264.38.
Council Perry makes a motion to approve change orders 2 through 5 for the 2022 water main replacement contract. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Stube. Any discussion? Now I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion passes.
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Council Perry. Sustainability and Community Planning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 2 items this evening. The first is I move that Council waive the submission of a preliminary plan and approve the final land development plan submitted by Frederick Siebert and Associates on behalf of the Jeffrey Corporation to develop Burger King in the C2 zoning district, subject to the conditions imposed by staff.
Councilor Hicks makes a motion to waive the submission of preliminary plan and approval of the final land development plan for the Burger King. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Deputy Mayor. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
I had a question. I looked through the plan, and overall, I think it has many improvements. My concern is that it's right along Hanover there, and well,
High Street.
Yeah, High Street. Sorry. And that area is very car centric, and the sidewalk right in front of Burger King doesn't have any trees. And yes, on this it does show 3 ornamental trees, but there are other, like a red maple that is in the plan to be in, looks like in the back portion along the parking. And although I think this is going along with, although it might not be stipulated in our documentation, but we do have these other plans, our climate action plans, and so trying to think of heat islands, and also thinking of, we're trying to make areas more walkable, but that area in the summer is very, very hot. There are no trees. So if we're just putting ornamental trees, and we have these opportunities to work with the developers who are coming in and being able to make some modifications, I am just asking because personally I would like to see, there's no actual power lines in that area either, so a larger canopy, something that would give, as it matures, a nice shade along that stretch. I think it would also beautify the area, and I don't think that it would, I think there's been concerns, not that it was said in this, but trees obscure the building. I think they would know the Burger King is there. But anyway, that is my thought on this, if there's any possible way to swap out some of those trees along that corridor, specifically on the sidewalk. But I don't know if that's anything.
Has there been any previous discussion with the applicant? Well, I guess we're gonna hear. Go ahead, Chris.
Chris knows I like trees.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, Chris Champy with FSA, 505 South Hanover Street. So that was a comment actually brought up by staff, in particular with those trees. We will be addressing that and adding in larger canopy trees, but also to sort of dovetail the heat island effect. That currently, one of the benefits of the plan before you is that the existing impervious coverage is 90% of the property. So pretty much the majority of the site is paved or in concrete. The proposed plan will actually reduce that down to 79%. So it will bring in more grass, helping to reduce sort of that reflection of the heat in the hot summer days. And we did add a connection from the sidewalk, sort of like a ramp down into the parking lot for people who will be riding bikes or walking there to get to the front door of the building to help with some of that access.
Is that the canopy trees, has that been added as a condition to the staff comments?
It was listed as a comment in the staff report.
Okay, and it sounds like agreed to by the applicant.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
And we have resubmitted plans, but we'll address. We'll be addressing all comments, and that was one of them. And we'll make sure to add larger canopy trees.
Okay, all right.
That's all I want.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. We had a motion. We had a second. We had some discussion. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
And before my last item, I know we have 3 esteemed members of the Tort Regional Authority here tonight. I did want to offer them, completely up to you, if you wanted to address council before we got to this item. If not, that's perfectly fine too, but totally up to you.
We're just here to lend support and answer any questions you may have.
All right. Oh, okay. Well, this one, I'll signal. This one will have my support before I read it. But my last item is I move that council approve a resolution amending the Tort Regional Authority's Articles of Incorporation and extending the term of existence to December 1st, 2072.
Councilor Hicks makes a motion to approve a resolution amending the Tort Regional Authority's Articles of Incorporation, extending the term of existence to December 1st, 2072. And will there be a second? Is there a second?
Second.
A second by the Deputy Mayor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes.
Yeah,
You may now applaud.
Yeah. I'll just add on behalf of council, we really appreciate our relationship and clearly look forward to, for a number of decades, you're a vital part of this community, and we're just really happy to be supportive and hope our adjacent municipalities can continue the trend as well. So that ends my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I saw Professor Ackerman. I was ready to answer some torts questions, but it's been over 20 years now. I won't remember the answers or the questions. That brings us to new business. So this is another opportunity for anybody who would like to provide any public comment. If you would like to do so, step up to the podium. If not, do we have anybody by Zoom with a hand raised? No. Okay. Then reports from council members and staff. Start down at the end with the student ambassadors. Mr. Powers.
I know it's been a few weeks, but I want to thank everyone from Borough Council who came to Dickinson Law and supported MLK Day event, and it was a very good turnout, and I was very happy, and I think it helped with the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, and I think it was a very, very well done event, and I am excited for Dickinson Law to do more events like this with Council in the future.
Thank you. Ms. Fisher-Henson.
Yeah, I just have a few announcements about upcoming events on campus. The first is that as part of Dickinson's Del Fox Visiting Scholars and Writers program, Ada Limon will be on campus for an award presentation and book signing event on Thursday, February 16th at 7 p.m. in the Allison Great Hall. Limon is the 24th Poet Laureate of the United States. In addition, the calendar of Clark Forum events is now available for the spring semester, and there's a live stream forum tomorrow on rurality and access to higher education at 6:45 p.m. in the Wagner and Missions House. This semester, Dickinson Center for Sustainability Education will once again be hosting a series of informal conversations about climate change called Let's Talk Climate. The first session is the climate crisis and the concept of One Health. It will be presented by Professor John Henson and take place Friday, February 17th at 11:30 a.m. in the Stern Great Room. All those sessions are free and open to the public. And in addition to these events, Dickinson's athletic competitions, music performances, and art exhibits are once again open to the public for the semester. So we appreciate your attendance at those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Mellon.
I don't want to steal the deputy mayor's thunder, but I have to shout out the Parks and Rec department, Andrea, the Parks and Rec board, and the tenacity of the deputy mayor herself for our wonderful new skate park, which opened officially on Thursday. Good job.
Thank you. Councilor Stubbe.
I have nothing further this evening. Thank you.
Councilor Cramsey.
I also don't want to steal the deputy mayor's thunder, but it was cool to watch that process. You know, we get to take the votes, but to see the community input and the skaters' input and Parks and Rec and Public Works is really cool to see. And then, of course, Deputy Mayor, with your leadership, I don't think it would have happened. Without your leadership, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you.
Do you have anything to say?
It's been so much fun. I've been out there every single day with Rosie, and we just have a blast. And like, it's just so good. And it's, I don't know, like I've never like overseen like something like so much after the time. And so I just sort of observe, and like all the different people are there, and like the littles are good with like the biggers, and the biggers like train and everyone kind of like keeps everyone in check. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be like a rogue person here or there, as they are in parks, but it's been awesome, at least from my view. And I've been out there in the cold, in the sun. It's been wonderful. So thank you. I see some bike people here. So our North Side Ride is coming up on April 1st. So mark your calendars, and that's another sweep around town. Skaters are allowed to come too, by the way. But that's it. Thanks.
The skaters were out there in the frigid cold on Friday and Saturday. Nothing stops them. Councilor Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, more under my capacity as a Vice Chair of Public Safety, I just want to send my thank you to Chief Landis, and thank you for walking us through the process of getting new officers. Clearly, one thing was obvious to everybody was the high quality of the person qualifying, and to have the luxury of choosing such good candidates, to me, it reflects not just the quality of Carlisle and people wanting to live here, but the quality of your department. And success, discipline, public service breeds people wanting to come here. So keep it up. Great job, and I look forward to a continued success and integration of your department with our community. Thank you, Chief.
Councilor Perry.
Just a couple of things. I will say congratulations on the skate park, Parks and Recs, and Brenda. I wasn't able to make it over there, but I saw it on social media and the newspaper. So congrats on that. And for everyone who's enjoying that park, you will not see me skating. But to all that do, congratulations. Second, I wanted to say that Hope Station and UPMC will be hosting a clinic on the 15th, when is that, Wednesday? On Wednesday, from I think 8 to 1. They will offer free glucose checks, and I think it's blood pressure. And I'm sorry, I should really have the flyer in front of me so I could remember. But please feel free. It is open to the public, and it is completely free. So unfortunately, it's not in the evening, so only some people are going to be able to make it. But it is from 8 to 1, and it will be held at Hope Station. And then secondly, on the 25th is Hope Station's annual Black Cultural Festival. We're looking really forward to it. We're going to have a few different vendors, and performers, and we always have a good time at it. So, feel free to please come. Good music. You guys gonna be there singing. I can't think of his name.
Better check my phone.
Yes, I can't think of his name right now. He sings for us every year. But he will be there. He'll be opening it up. So we have Dickinson will be there with their fashion show that we do every year. So we're really looking forward to it. Please come celebrate with us, Emmanuel. Yes. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. We thought it was going to be you.
I was afraid for a second.
Borough Manager Armstrong, anything? Okay. All right. Well, I get the last word. But I was going to just a few words, but I do want to point out along the lines of what Councilor Hicks mentioned. I had the opportunity to see some of the incredible work that our police officers do, and I wish they were still here and that we didn't have this opportunity until later in the meeting under some high stress situations, and how incredibly they perform their job. So thank you, and please again pass that on to your officers, Chief. Last word is only this: go Birds, fly Eagles, fly. This meeting is adjourned.